G'day everyone, I'm Smokescreen and welcome to today's video. Bit of a different kind of race here today. It's a gr.x 1 make at Brands Hatch for Daily Race C a couple of weeks ago. So here we go. This is my qualifying lap here, so you can marvel at honestly what is some pretty average driving while I introduce you to everything that's going on. So this is the Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit, and this is the F1500 TA racing car. So it's a gr.x machine. It's developed by Gran Turismo, but it's based on the 90s Formula 1 cars. But so here we go around Brands Hatch, located in the UK. So you can see it, and you can actually go to this, and there's actual events that happen at this very circuit. So it's not fictional like the Tokyo Expressway circuits are. It is a short little track, 3.9 kilometers, which is short by racetrack standards, I suppose, with a straight of only just short of 500 meters. So it's not a slipstreaming sort of track. It's more of an all-around sort of track where you'll be rewarded for consistency. And it was first built in 1947. This current layout used in 2003 onwards, and it's got 9 turns. So there we go, qualifying lap of a 1:14.677 there. So we just this was the very first race I did actually, and I just started out by saying, well, this isn't going to be good. So, you know, that just sets the scene for my beliefs on this track here as we just start the final now. So I've cut out the grid leaderboard thing in the garage, as honestly it just wasted so much time and I had no idea what to say during that point there, as we see it here anyway. So I qualify 7th, and you can just see my livery sort of preview there, the pink, white and black, you know it, pure banter, Force India. So if I do badly, that's my excuse.
This is not okay. This needs to stop now.
As we just start there, just flash into TCS, fine. But I sort of get the start wrong. I didn't realise it had false start check and that you needed to hold the brakes, so I get that slightly wrong, get overtaken immediately by 2 people, get 3 people, just get punted by 2 people simultaneously, but a couple of people bin themselves off the track and I managed to come out in 7th. So, not an ideal start. I sort of got confused by the start there, but managed to get caught on the curb there. It's just so messy. Like, honestly, I can't even commentate this. It's just, there's so much contact. You can see what's going on. Someone bins it into the left hand side there, but we come up finally down through turn 4 Surtees in 5th place, and we managed to get SR Flash up. I'm not quite sure what you're thinking, Gran Turismo, but obviously I'm doing the right thing. We just got the inside of that guy coming around here, so just punts us for good measure. So we just come round through Dingle Dell here on lap 1. So obviously this is race C, so you can just see I've got the fuel setting up there. So I've got 9.2 laps of fuel now as we speak. So I've gone into fuel setting 2. This was the very first race. I had no idea what the strategy was. We just get overtaken again. A couple of people with penalties as we look behind there. So I wasn't sure if people were going to one-stop this or do a no-stop. So obviously fuel and tyre saving to do all 15 laps without a pit stop. But I'm just doing some light fuel saving as I go for a light excursion off the side of the track at turn 1, get overtaken by 4 people there, down into 9th, so not good so far. I've got TCS on.
This is cancer.
We'll have that conversation a bit later, but we just come around here. So I've decided at this point, I'm just going to fuel save a little bit. Oh my goodness, I can't even get a word in as we start to go up Graham Hill there as we come back down onto the track. Do we lose position out of it? Yes, we do, down into 10th. So really not an ideal start there. I'm going to try and say it again. So I've decided at this point I'm going to do some light fuel saving but go for a one-stop anyways. We just lose another position there. So honestly, what a bad couple of laps. Like, it could not have been worse. So obviously you can just see I'm just having trouble taming this 986 horsepower machine. So we just try to go up the inside of Coucho King there as Charles E comes weighing in from nowhere and drives off the track, as we soon do also just following Sky Power a little bit, I suppose. That's my excuse anyway. So we come through Sterling's Bend now, still in 10th place. So we've got to get the power down, racing up, so to 250 kilometers an hour, coming around. We're going to go off the track again, not quite, get the power down for the straight. So we're going to overtake Sky Power by the turn 1. Hopefully we do. So here we go, coming around turn 1 now. Sky Power slightly wide, but really get similar runs through there. Coming up towards the top hairpin, just going to the back of him, but he manages to keep it onto the track going around the corner instead of off the outside there, and he almost gets a little bit of oversteer just on the curb there, but he manages to hold it nicely, coming around through Graham Hill Bend now. So we're down behind Sky Power, we brake towards Surtees there. I come out wide, he keeps it narrow, but ultimately I end up going into the back of him, so it doesn't make a difference anyway. So as we roar down the straight now, and you'll see we go up to 250, 260, 70, 80, 90, 300 kilometers an hour in 500 meters. Like, that's the kind of power we're talking about from 90s F1 machines. Like, it's absolutely mind-boggling how quickly these things used to go, and obviously safety wasn't as advanced as it is now, as Sky Power just decides to give up his position for me. Thank you very much for that, mate. Coming round Sterling's Bend there. So we just skip ahead to lap 7, so we just start to come up to some back markers now. So nothing much occurred for, honestly, the 5 or 6 laps that I skipped there. So we're still in 9th place. We can just see 8th place. We've managed to catch up to him when he actually peels off into the pits lap 7. So of course a 15 lap race, half is 7.5, but there's no pit lane halfway through the lap. It's at the start, or the end I suppose, depending on how you look at it. So you can pit on lap 7 to get the undercut, or on lap 8 to get the overcut. I've decided to go for the overcut, not quite sure why, but I thought I'm in the rhythm in the middle of the race, I'll just keep it going. So this is my in lap now, so I wanted to have a good in lap here, but just as we brake for Surtees, I just go slightly wide on the grass and just slam into the wall, getting 5 seconds of penalty. So I slam into the wall and for good measure get penalised for it. Excellent, honestly, logic 100, that. But, so that means we're going to have to slow down for this penalty now, so I lose time for losing time. Consequence for a consequence. Just don't even try and work out how, in what universe that would make sense, but it is what it is. So here we are, coming up towards the penalty line, which is around Sterling's Bend. Cut that corner nicely. I think that sheen curve there. Coming around Sterling's now, so we'll slow down for this penalty there. Slow and painful 5 seconds to watch through there. So we just begin to accelerate now, down towards the final corner where we'll be braking again anyway, so honestly, don't get a penalty. So we just peel into the pits now, and we'll cut that a little bit and just almost hit the wall, but not quite. So get another set of medium tyres, so of course you have the choice of hard and medium, but if you're going to be stopping anyway, you might as well go for the softer, faster compound of tyre there. We just refuel and get overhauled by 9th as we come out of the pits there, but as we find ourselves in 10th position again. So we're those couple of mistakes in lap 1 and 2, it's put us down in 10th, and it's just having trouble getting out of it. But let's see how many positions we can make up from here to the end. Of course, traction control helping with my consistency a little bit, to say the least, as we just accelerate out of Graham Hill Bend there. So we're going to be coming up towards 9th place now, so he's got another interesting name, Pizzy, I hope that's how it's pronounced. Come through the main straight now, coming towards Hawthorne, Westfield, Dingledale and Sheen Curve, which is the sort of little square bit of the track here. So we just go over the inside curb there, come around to the outside, so we're coming up to a back marker, 19th place now, as we just check the time. We're now 1 second behind Pizzy now. It's hopefully soon to be 0.9. There we go, as we just come through Sterling's Bend there, coming through 19th place. So we're now 0.5 seconds behind. Hopefully we get this move done, as Pizzy, he actually goes into the pit. So he's overcutted the overcutters. Probably not optimum strategies. You spend 2 extra laps on worn tyres As we just come through here, yellow flags are out. 8th place is way off into the gravel, so I managed to make up that position, sweeping through Sterling's Bend there. So we're in 8th place now. Let's see if we can make up any more from here to the end of the race. But we just have a look ahead. So the guy coming through the final corner now, let's see what he does. He gets a little bit of oversteer, just gets a bit more there and has a bit of a tank slapper there and just bins it into the inside wall. So he's come to a halt there. As we zoom out, there we go, past him into 7th place on lap 13. So we've actually almost overtaken that back marker again. But here we go, the final lap now, and I'm sure you've now seen down at the fuel setting, I've got 0% fuel and like half a lap to do. So I was just going so hard these last couple of laps, actually putting my fastest lap in lap 13 of a 1:16.1. I had no idea I was about to run out of fuel until the car gave up like that. And I didn't know I was going to run out. I had it up there so I would look at it, but I just wasn't looking at it for some reason unbeknownst to man. But there we go. We're gonna ride on board from here to the end, so you can experience the pain I had to experience from here. So obviously, I didn't save fuel enough. I didn't do all the things to save fuel. I didn't do any of that. I was just going so hard. Fuel completely out of mind and managed to finish 9th, losing a few positions at the end thanks to having no fuel. So there's the driver there looking down at disappointment at the Force India, as I'm sure that team principal was also. But there we go. So obviously this isn't the end of the video, as you can probably tell by now, but we decided to put in another qualifying lap. So the previous was a 1:14.6. We're going to take you through another lap now as we come through up Pilgrim's Rise now towards the Druid's Hairpin. Braking towards there, so you can see my ghost went slightly deep, sorry. So you just accelerate out. I've actually turned TCS on, so we've got to have that conversation at some point. Graham Hill Bend now, so we don't want to end up going up Graham's Hill as the Ghost actually nearly did there. So we accelerate down towards Surtees now, out wide, and then brake and bring it in towards the apex there, meeting it there and accelerating out, not quite maximising the outer track limits there, but I was already purple on a 1:15.4, so of course the purple sectors being in the particular session. So all these purple times, all the splits are up from a 15.4. You can see up on the side there, of course, obviously still slower than my 1:14.677. So we just come through Dingledell and up through Sheen Curve there, blind corner entry, very difficult to get right with a little bit of oversteer. So we just brake and ride the camber of Sterling's Bend, accelerate out towards the curb, and that's it. We get the power down. We're gaining time through this whole straight, 1.4 seconds up now. As we come around the final corner, get on the power, 1.5 seconds up now. As we accelerate towards the finish line, 1.55 seconds up now. As we cross the line, it's going to be a 13.868. You might think, pretty good, pretty good. You may not, but some people will. But it wasn't without its mistakes. We get a little bit of oversteer out of Druids and catch the grass and end up going for an excursion up Graham Hill. We catch the curb and go on the outside of Sheen Curve and go on the gravel out of Sterling's Bend, out of the gravel out of Turn 1, into the gravel in Druids. Honestly, just riddled with mistakes. Catch the grass on the main straight somehow. Catch the grass again going through Paddock Hill Bend, Turn 1, catch the curb and get a lot of oversteer coming out of Graham Hill Bend, getting a lot of oversteer, tank slapper, catch there, go around, coming out of Turn 1 there, trying to go into Druid's Bend, but here we go. So he didn't actually improve on a 1:13.868, so here we go. So you just see me there in 3rd place, the only Force India car. Don't know how I've managed to get it into 3rd place. Honestly, Formula 1, they should hire me as a driver. That's how good I am. Honestly, exceeding expectations set by Force India. So this time, let's get the start right. You can just see I've got a little bit of brake, because that's all you need. Accelerator, TCS on 3, accelerate 50% and keep it there and put the full power down as we come out there. So we managed to get a good run, almost go around the outside of John there. 3rd place comes through and just absolutely rams the pole sitter off. So that leaves me in 1st place. And honestly, when this happened, there was people in the room watching me and I said, I'm not going to stay here. So he nearly gets swiped off there by 2nd place in a savage dive bomb that doesn't end well for him. So let's see if there's any more near misses that occur. You just come through there, you just see Foreplay comes through there, oh dear, and he just rams off if you looked at the radar at the right moment there, and because that happened after he touched me, I get a 1 second penalty. So honestly, more mysteries of the universe. Q X-Files theme. But anyway, so here we go, coming round Hawthorne Bend now, in first place, so in 2.5 seconds up now, so that's honestly really good. But we got this penalty to deal with, so you just see the yellow notice coming up there, that I'm going to have to slow down at the next penalty gates there. So coming around here, so the penalty gate's just after Sterling's now, a little bit of a wriggle on coming out of there, but we go around Sterling's, hit the penalty gates, we get a second worth of braking coming out of there, but you can see second place has actually binned it into the gravel behind me and doesn't manage to capitalise on me slowing down. So now at 3.5 seconds, actually near enough 4 seconds ahead of second place now at this point. We just skip ahead to lap 7, so this is the in lap now, and honestly it was just 6 laps, or 7 laps I suppose, 7 or 8 laps of me just lapping quite consistently actually, with the exception of lap 5. I've obviously made a bit of a mistake there if you look at the times on the right hand side leaderboard, all 1:16s except lap 5 or 1:19, but nevertheless I'm nearly 10 seconds ahead in first place. Now my focus here was to bring home first. Now that I've spent half the race here, I thought, you know what, I'm going to take this seriously, let's buckle down, let's get first place, if it's by 1 millisecond or a minute, like whatever, this is going to be a first place. That was my thinking at this point, so I wanted to get a good in-lap now, because once again going for the overcut, a couple of people have already pitted, you just see P8 there in the pits now as we speak, coming round through Dingle Dell now, and I didn't want to make the same mistake of fuel this time, just nice and conservative through there, braking probably a little bit more than we need to, but I just don't want to risk running off the track with worn tyres. So I'm now fuel saving a little bit, you can see I'm in lean setting 2, so every little bit of fuel I save out on the track is less time I have to spend stationary refueling in the pits. So we just sweep over to the right hand side, just graze the wall, but oh well, as we get over the line there. So we're coming there, Force India, I'm propelling it to victory, probably for the first ever time on YouTube here. So we just refuel, so I'm going to refuel a little bit more than last time, as I refueled right to the diamond last time, except this time we just go over just slightly, 78% of fuel this time. So I just don't want to have a repeat of the previous race there. But now we come out in second place, but I'm going to talk about something slightly controversial now. Traction control.
I can feel the tumors growing on my back.
So as you can just see, with the assist menu down near my accelerator input, there is the little red icon flashing on and off. That's traction control. So that is the car's electronic system of reducing wheel spin and oversteer coming out of corners. So you just see as we get on the power here, the little red flashing in the accelerator input is the traction control reducing my input to prevent oversteer. Obviously controlling traction, as the name implies there. But usually drivers that sort of advertise their driving on Gran Turismo, they like to have it off because it's more professional that way, but I've got it on for this race because you just see those mistakes before. I actually don't remember if I had traction control on or not. I think I did, but that just highlights, even with traction control on, you still make mistakes, and embarrassing mistakes they were, probably humorous to you, but they were mistakes I was making with traction control, so only imagine the mistakes I'm making without it. So I just bit the bullet, turned it on for consistency, and it's obviously working for me, as George Fury, the guy in first place just before, has waited until the end of lap 9 for his pit, so he's gone in just now to do that. So this is it, we're on the final stint, fresh tyres, plenty of fuel, of course, and still in lean setting 2, and that was the story from here to the end of the race. Quite consistent times, 1:16s, 1:17, 16, 17, 16, and as we cross the line here, it's going to be a 1:17 again, and it's going to be a first place, 10 seconds ahead pretty much. So we did the total time in 1945, but that is absolutely nowhere near the realm of top guys. I can do it in like 1925 or something, absolutely insane. But for my split, my driving ability, and frankly my livery, let's be honest, I've managed to get home first place. So there is my victory there. Congratulations to me. First place, my third win. You'll be able to see all my wins on my Kudos Prime. That'll be linked in the description. Go down there and have a look, along with various other interesting things linked down there. But that's it. I've managed to get a first place in probably one of the hardest races I've ever taken part in. And I'm quite proud to have that particular race up on my YouTube, despite the fact it had the ever controversial traction control system turned on. But that's it from me. Thank you very, very much for watching. Thank you for liking, if you did. If you did like the video and clicked the thumbs up, I just thanked you personally. So thank you again. And please do consider subscribing if you do like this kind of content. So I do thank you again. I do hope you enjoyed very much. I hope to see some subscribers. Hint, hint, maybe just give that little red button a click. Anyway, that's it. Thank you very much for watching. See you later.